Bears. Bears Country Podcast. Welcome to Bears Country Podcast, preseason pregame against the Seahawks. Nomad and I here we're going to discuss the Bears preseason game, kind of some of the things we're looking for tonight's game. And, it is preseason. There's not going to be a lot of starters playing tonight, but there is a lot to look for as a Bears fan because there are a lot of players that are playing to make the team tonight. This is probably what would be considered in a four-game preseason, the second preseason game where hardly any of the starters play. I don't know how they plan on doing it the next preseason game. Probably more of the starters playing. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. It's kind of, this whole system is kind of new with the three pregame, with the 3 games in the preseason. So it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out tonight. I know there's a lot to look for. Nomad, how are you feeling about this game tonight?
Are we live?
We are live, my friend.
Okay, hold
on. Take your time, man. We're just live. I have my vintage Chicago Bears glass here from 1985. Look at that. Monsters of the Midway.
I got one I'm looking at right now in my kitchen. I'm going to get it in a second. I just cracked me a beer just to be an asshole.
I also have my Walter Payton jersey on tonight because I think they're going to be doing a lot of running of the ball.
Probably, man. Probably. I want to see those running backs get a lot of carries, but I also want to see – it's a whole bunch of things I want to see, but I also want to see some more establishment in that passing game right away. Yeah. I want to see some take a shot downfield and who they're going to target down there.
Yeah, Velus Jones is going to be playing tonight, so hopefully they're able to get a couple of passes into him at least. I know we're all kind of excited to see what he has.
Who was that?
Velus Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Playing tonight. Yeah.
I think, it's more interesting. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
You didn't interrupt me. Go ahead.
I think what would be more interesting for guys to watch, and you guys get your damn notepads out, man. I'm about to give y'all some nuggets. Seriously.
Go
ahead. Okay. It's the plays. He's going to get plays, but pay closer attention to where they line him up. Because Velus, they want to establish him as a threat coming from multiple spots, whether it be on the edge out there, whether it be in the slot, whether they have him running jet sweeps, or whether it's out of the backfield. Just pay attention to where they line him up and how much it threatens the defense.
Here's a good question for the Velus Jones topic is, since we're not going to be seeing a lot of starters tonight, where do you think that he falls into that category? Is he going to be playing as much as the starters? Is he going to be playing longer than the starters because he's missed the last game?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. Velus is no. That's like your good silverware you don't bring out unless you got family around.
Right.
he's also no. You don't give him extended snaps.
He's also coming back from an injury, and I'm not sure that. Does anybody even know what the injury is?
Soft tissue, maybe.
Yeah, so probably a hamstring. I hope it's not a hamstring because that usually equals.
Usually it's a ham or something like that, a strain or some kind.
Yeah, hamstrings scare me because if you miss some time with a hamstring and you come back too soon, then you usually are out again pretty quickly, and you miss a little bit more time than you did in the first time. So, hopefully it was not a hamstring.
I think that might have been what was happening with Kyler Gordon because he didn't start off in practice right away, and he came back, and then he went back to the trainer. So to me that's a sign of some kind of lingering soft tissue injury.
Yeah, probably. Cliff Victoria says, I'd guess that he'll play until he does some good things unless injury signs pop up.
Who is he talking about?
I think we're talking about Velus Jones, yeah.
Yeah. I think if they get a good play off with him in that first drive or maybe into that second drive, I think they pull him.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think they're going to want to risk injury. Yeah, they know they know where he stands on the team. There's a lot of other players that they're going to be looking at tonight.
That he is a very integral piece to what they want to do. I am certain of that. And I know they don't want him out there extended snaps. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I would imagine. And then Nick Welsh says, excited to see Tevin at guard. I am too.
Man, Nick, you and me both, man. And you know what, Nick, I want to tell you, just like this, I want to tell everybody else. Easy evaluating Tevin at guard. He hasn't played guard in quite a while. I don't even think, I think maybe his junior year, I might be wrong, but somewhere in his college career, he's never played guard on a professional rank. So he needs to find his groove. And, you know, he may have a hiccup or two early in the game, but I think he'll find it somewhere in that game and he'll roll. He's probably going to play some extended snaps. Say 2K, what's up, dude?
What's up, buddy? Thanks for coming in. Thanks for everyone for joining us in chat right now. You guys are what makes this whole thing go with your questions and your comments and us being able to have the ability to talk with you guys about some of the things you want to bring up.
He's out. Cliff's asking about a Tevin all 22 breakdown. Baralissimo does that.
Oh yeah,
that's his lane.
That's Baralissimo's job. We'll leave that up to him. Go check out what he does. He got some great stuff.
Right. We're all family in these podcasts. We all cross-pollinate with each other, so nobody's hating on anybody. So I watch this show just like you do.
Absolutely. Swifty does some good stuff over there too. I'm sure he'll have some stuff to follow because he's when we were on the DeBear debate, that was one of the things he brought up was Tevin playing at guard and his excitement for tonight, and he kind of smoked me on that debate topic. So I lost that one to him.
Yeah, I think everybody, I think the whole city's going to be watching him. And it's weird because typically people don't really pay that much attention to the offensive line, in a preseason game, especially here. You know what I mean? It's just
I know
so much hubbub around him and so many storylines around him. And he's putting everything to bed right now. Everybody wants to see him keep that momentum and keep shutting people the fuck up. And I want it to.
Right. When's the last time you can remember Bears fans talking this much about the fucking offensive line? Like,
jeez, it's ridiculous.
It's got to be a record for offensive line talk out of Bears fans.
Man, it's overwhelming. It's to the point where, like, I'm tired of hearing the Deshaun Watson story. I'm tired of hearing about Roquan's contract or how much I think he ought to get paid or I'd trade him for this. And shut the fuck up. Are you the GM? No. Right. Stop talking about that man's money. Shut up.
Right. I mean, there's always so much you can talk about. It gets exhausting, right? Just kind of have to sit back and wait to see what happens.
Let the shit play out, man. Jeez.
Something eventually will happen. I can guarantee you that.
For sure.
So as we get into the game here tonight, we got some talking points. Nomad, you had some good stuff you wanted to bring up. Why don't you go ahead and start with your macro view? Your macro view.
Macro view for all you guys that walked past the school and didn't go in it. That means your wide view from a distance. What is this game all about? This game, more than anything else, is about this is a resume game for UDFAs and some of the free agent guys that were brought in, a few of the bubble guys. This is their. Before I get into that, always hoping for the best. Nobody gets injured. Always thinking about those guys first. Right. But with that being said, this is a resume game for these guys. These guys need to put some stuff on film, some stuff that stick out when other coaches are looking at this, whether it be an NFL coach, could be somewhere in Canada, could be USFL, anywhere. But this is their livelihoods. They're looking to maintain their livelihoods through their play. May not be with this team. Those guys are going to be out there trying their asses off.
Could you imagine being one of these guys in one of these preseason games that nobody wants to watch, right? You're like, shit, you don't want to watch me play? Like, this is my big moment. They're so excited right now. They're out there playing. They've got their families there. They're hoping to make the team. This is their biggest moment in their lives for most of these players that are playing tonight. And half the nation is shitting on them because it's a preseason game. They don't want to watch that. This is what makes it exciting for the real diehard Bears fans who want to get down into the nitty-gritty and find out what they have on their team,
Yeah, I mean, it's a tense moment. I mean, it's tense. It's been tense for a long time since they walked into that camp. Every day they walk up to that building and have to put their print on there to open that door or whatever card they have. I don't know what they got, what kind of system they have. It's always a threat that motherfucker might not work.
Right.
And your armpits are sweating, your ass cracks got sweat rolling down that thing. You're nervous, man, because you just don't know, man. Everything is tentative. No matter how hard they work, it can just change on them.
You said something to me that one time that just changed my perspective on everything, about how, everyone down in the trenches and how they're stinking and how they just piss on themselves, because what are they going to go march into the locker room and unsuit themselves to take a piss? You had
to think about that a little bit, didn't you?
No, yeah, I haven't stopped it. Like, since you said that, I watch games. I'm like, oh man, I'm looking to see if their pants are wet.
Guarantee you, one or two of them gonna piss on themselves every game.
I imagine, yeah. What about your micro view, Nomad?
My micro view is I'm looking closely at some bubble guys. Who I think are bubble guys. Nobody knows who's bubble guys on this team. We're not in that building, but some of the guys I think are on the bubble. It could be guys from anybody from your Greg Stroman at corner. Could be John Alexander at safety. It could be Darrington Evans at running back. A whole bunch of guys, receivers. Just multiple players out there. I'll be looking after the first team gets off the field on offense and defense. I'm going to zoom in on the rest of that game, I'm going to have that shit under a microscope.
Yeah, me too. Because like I said, this is the biggest game for so many players on the team, and they're going to be fired up because they know that. The John Alexanders, like you said, some of the players that are on the bubble that we don't even know about. I'm sure we could list off a handful of them just off the top of our heads, because there's a lot of them every year. I mean, they have. Didn't they just trim the roster down again? I haven't even noticed, but I know they had to trim the roster down again. So I didn't even pay attention to who got cut on that last one. But there's more coming. So you got to get your shit together in this game and prove to the team that all these minutes you're going to be playing in this game, that you're worthy to stick around for the next one.
Yeah, they trimmed 5. They trimmed 5 Tuesday, and I think they trim another 5 Monday or Tuesday. Yeah.
J2K, I see your question about the defensive end position. We're going to pull those up later when we get into that. Let's see.
Tell them to keep the questions coming, man. We'll get to them.
Keep the questions coming. I'll get back to some of these questions as they pertain to what we're talking about, because they are good questions. I will say that Cliff says the start of the game, he'd like to see Justin move the ball down the field. I mean,
hell yeah.
You better do it in 5 plays, or on the first series, because that's probably going to be it, right?
That's exactly what we want to see in that first series. Just get a nice, effective march down the field. Doesn't have to be fast, just effective. Just get it down that thing.
And that kind of leads us into the next topic you wanted to talk about, Nomad, which was better execution on offense by the starting offense, and hopefully we see at least one deep ball attempt to Velus Jones, right?
I don't care who it's to. I would like to see Velus get a deep attempt. But whoever it might be, I want to see them establish a tempo and establish something, attack them deep with whoever they choose to attack with. Just threaten them deep.
Yeah, because we never really even saw them they kind of started to get into a rhythm on the last game, starting offense. On that drive that Fields, I think it was the one that he threw to Tajay Sharp, that really nice catch. It felt like they were starting to get something going on that drive, and it just never happened. So if they can just get one, that I imagine it's only going to be one drive, probably, maybe 2, if the first one's a 3 and out. But if they can get that first drive down the field and just score, kind of like the Chiefs did to us last week, we can at least see them attempting a deep ball, whether it's to Equidemius, whether it's to Velus Jones, whether it's to Mooney. I don't give a shit. Just get the ball down the field and let's see what happens.
So what we saw last week is pretty easy to see. They was targeting Mooney. They were targeting Tajay Sharp. What I would like to see is them target EQ. Get St. Brown some looks. See if you can scheme him open. See if he can shake free. But get him some looks. Target him in this game. You had the other 2 guys out there getting theirs last week. I would like to see him get his.
Me too. That kind of leads us back into Tevin Jenkins. What kind of playing at right guard? Do you think he's going to play guard the whole game?
If you're just starting him to play that position in the last couple of days, I see it being counterproductive to move him out of that spot mid-game. Mm-hmm. I think he needs to stay there and find more and more of a groove the longer he's in there. I mean, if people start getting hurt, knock on wood, but I can't see any good reason to do that in game to move him to another position. He's just gotten over there. He's bounced from tackle to tackle throughout camp. So leave him alone, I would say, right there where he's at.
I would say the same thing. Khalil Herbert. Want to see some more on him today too, huh?
Yeah, I've been thinking about him all week, man. And I've seen some pretty hot takes out there. Yeah, Khalil Herbert better have a better game or he might get cut. Look, I don't think he's anywhere in danger of getting cut at all. But what he is in danger is because he drops the ball in the passing game. That was happening last year. Mm-hmm. What he is in danger of, if he's not secure with that football and executing those plays, what he's going to do is he's going to lose snaps. Mm-hmm. So whereas, let's say he might have got 12 to 15 snaps in a game, they're going to take him out for probably half of those because they want to run some kind of pass play and they don't trust his hand. So that goes to Ebner. Mm-hmm. So at worst, I think that's what could happen if he comes out there and has a bad game. But I got a little confidence that he's going to rebound in this game. I'm predicting he's going to hit a long run.
Ooh, okay. I like that. That sounds good.
So 2K want to see Money. Go ahead.
Is Money playing tonight?
I think he probably get a couple snaps in there.
We'll get a couple snaps, yeah.
I don't think Brisker is, though, because he didn't practice all week, and that's usually indicative of somebody that's not going to play. But I could be surprised. Mm-hmm.
So that kind of leads us. That kind of leads us from offense into defense. Some of the players that you're looking for tonight, Nomad. What do you want to see out of some of those bubble players or some of those rookies or UDFAs that we have on the team on defense tonight?
I'll start with the some of the UDFAs and bubble guys that I think in particular Lamar Jackson. I want to see him stack a good game. He had a really good game last week, and I want to see if he can top that, get out there and put up the same kind of performance that he had the last game. And I just want to see him add to what he did last week. He looked really good out there, and I'd like to see him kind of do the same this week. And if he does, and I'm just reading into my coach's mind, he could solidify himself as a starter week 1 on the other side, and Kyler going into the slot.
Are you talking about Jackson?
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I thought he looked that good.
Yeah, he did look that good. Going back and rewatching that, J2K says, I like the real Lamar Jackson. Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
I remember when they signed him, it was like, oh, the Bears signed Lamar Jackson? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but that guy looked really good, man.
He actually did look really good. He did. I'm excited to see what he has tonight, too. You were also talking about John Alexander.
Oh, yeah. He's it's going to be interesting because I've looked at the game probably 3 times now, and I was watching Elijah Hicks, and he got a touchdown scored on him, but that's like if you knew what you were looking at in that touchdown he was scored on, it was a weak and soft defensive call, and he was forced to cover. You're the last man, you're the last person back there, so you got to keep everything underneath you. So your job is in that position is to try to make a play on the ball if you can get there fast enough, but do not allow anything to get behind you. Right. And so he was just gambling on his ability to be able to make a play on that ball if it got there. He didn't get there in time. I wouldn't think too much of it.
Me either. He might have just misjudged the speed it took to get there because
exactly. It happens all the time.
Yeah, right. He's used to being able to make up the speed in college, and at the last second, And in that case, he was a little bit short.
I like to see him get him in positions to make more plays. He played really deep, really soft, pretty much the whole game, and I like to see him what he looks like up close and get him into some action out there. And John Alexander could be a guy that's pushing him for that. I think it's the second or third free safety spot. I think if I look at the depth chart, it might be Hicks now that Joseph is gone as the second free safety, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was Joseph that they cut.
Right.
So you're right. That might be he might be the second stringer in that spot now.
Yeah, so might be a toss-up between him and John Alexander as to who fits in that spot under Eddie Jackson.
Mm-hmm. J2K says he was okay. I wanted to see more. Thought he was playing slow compared to his college tape. Think he's still learning. Looked good on special teams, though.
You still be talking about Hicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just like depends on who you are and how much is going on in your head. Mm-hmm. You know, just you could be reactionary when you just getting out there in your first snaps in a real fucking football game. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that quick, snappy decision making that you were making in college when you were, you had all your continuity from being in the game all the time. He's new. That's why I want to see if it speeds up for him today.
Yeah, me too. And Leo Factor says depth guys like Elijah Hicks stepping up will be big for our defense. And that's 100% correct.
Freaking huge. That would be minus, which I thought Doug Kramer probably could have made the team. But if Elijah Hicks steps up, then we pretty much hit it with all our guys in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what's the other guy? Zach Thomas. I need to see more of him.
Yeah, me too. Zach Thomas. I saw some good things in that game. I definitely want to see more of him today. Kyler Gordon too. Kyler Gordon's finally going to play today. See how much he actually plays with the, if he had a soft tissue injury himself. So that'll be. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say I'm gonna make a bold statement. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna line Kyler up in the slot, probably to start the game off. Mm-hmm. And I think they've got, just because he's at home in front of his mom, dad, and his family, they'll dial up a couple of plays to put him in position to make a huge play, whether it be a sack, whether it be some kind of, I don't know, but I think they'll put him in position to make a splash play or two out of the slot. I think he's going to definitely jump off the screen.
One thing about tonight's game is the Seahawks don't really have a quarterback that scares anybody, and the starter is out. So it's going to be Geno Smith going tonight. And my bold prediction is Jaquan Brisker gets a pick six on the third defensive play of the game. Boom! There's my bold prediction.
I'll tell you one thing, the Doberman Pinchers are going to come out, man. They're going to run right at his ass, right downfield. Mm-hmm. He better be turning around and hand that ball off, or he's going to be in trouble out there.
No shit. Now that we're on defense, let's get back to a good question that J2K brought up. I watched the last half of the game a second time. I focused a bit on the defensive end. Curious who you guys think is in the lead out of Robinson, Snowden, or Kamara.
Hands down, Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
There's Robinson, and everybody else is way behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like Snowden though. He looked better for some reason out there.
He's working on his bull rush. I noticed that. It stood out a couple of times. He's definitely he's picking up his game for sure.
To J2K's point, Kamara did look decent. I did see him penetrate pretty good in there. He didn't get all the way home all the time, but he was getting there.
And J2K says, if you get to one of my questions, my take is Kamara was the best pass rusher out of the three I listed. Sam Kamara was someone I'm very curious to see at the three technique as well. So he should be getting a lot of playing time tonight for sure. And he's a UDFA from last year, which we all, root for. He's still on the team, so hopefully he can pick up where he left off last year and keep going with it and get better.
when you got guys like, and I hear you, J2K, man. He did. If you watch the game close enough, he did make some disruptive plays in there. Yes, he did. So you are right. Mm-hmm. But when you think about a guy like Sam Kamara and what's the other guy's name, number 49? 49, the defensive end. 49. Whatever his name is, the tall 6'7" guy. Just mentioned it.
Oh. Tall. You just mentioned Robinson.
No, that's Robinson 6'4". Snowden. There you go, J2K.
Snowden. Yeah.
Right. That guy, when you think about a guy like that and a guy like Kamar, okay, you say to yourself as coaches, you go in that room and you sit around, okay, what do you guys like about him? I like this, I like that, I like this. And they all bounce different things around. Mm-hmm. Okay, versus some other guys that may come available in free agency. Mm-hmm. Do you keep them? I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think so. I think there's upgrades in talent out there available now. And it'll probably be more by the time before they get down to 53.
Oh, yeah. There's cuts happening all over the place.
Oh, yeah. I think you can upgrade over those two players. I hate saying that about Snowden because he's so damn long and his traits have so much potential. But truth is, we need some guys that are ready right now.
Mm-hmm. You're right. We do. That kind of leads us into Jack Sanborn. What do you got to say about him? Are you still talking shit about him, buddy?
Man, you know what, man? Before anybody starts messing with me in the chat, listen, I came down hard on Sanborn last week or earlier this week, and I know it. And I'm still going to stand on it. However, I will stand corrected if he proves me wrong. What I'm looking to see, I already know he can play well in the box. He's very smart, and he knows where to be, putting himself in position body-wise to be able to make a play. And that's just what, if you're a good linebacker, if nothing else, you better learn how to fucking do that. Mm-hmm. Because you may be a guy like Jack Sanborn that is not the best athlete, and you might get out of position. You can't do that if you're not a top-notch athlete. You don't have the kind of agility to be able to make up for a mistake of being out of position. So what I'm looking for with him, I want to see what happens if he gets caught in coverage with whoever.
Me too.
It could be a running back, it could be a tight end, it could be a receiver. But eventually somebody's going to take him and going to take him on a nice, decent, lengthy route, and I want to see how he covers it.
Somebody's going to take him on a wheel route. There's going to be a tight end seam he's going to have to cover, something like that, and we're going to find out what his coverage is, right?
That's when we'll know who Sanborn is.
Mm-hmm. You're damn right about that, buddy.
So everybody pump your damn brakes, man. He's still, I believe in the guy just like you all do, but I've seen a lot of guys like him, and they're good playing in the box, and they're just not the best out there. I want to see him up against talent a peg up. I want to see him out there with the
starters. Me too.
I want to see what happens with that. Second and third stringers, that's one thing, but the starters, that's a whole nother ballgame.
Well, we've all talked about, what the Jack Sanborns of the world do to us Bears fans, and to see him out there with the starters, it's bring it on, man. Because if you're able to ball out like that with the second and third stringers, it's time to plug you in there and see what you have with the first string. Just even if they, I think they should start him with the starters and play him the whole game. See what happens.
You know what happens, Shorty? Sometimes in games, sometimes coverages get mixed up, and the call is misunderstood during the game, and usually the Mike linebacker will see it before anybody else. Mm-hmm. And he'll look, and what if it's a DK Metcalf lined up in the slot, and a safety or somebody hasn't slid down to come up there and get him? Then who's got to get that guy?
Are you talking about Sanborn playing the mic or the Sam?
Yeah. Who's got to come down and get that guy? Mm-hmm. Usually the mic. Mm-hmm. What happens to him if it's DK Metcalf on his ass and he's got to? What happens then? Honestly.
Mm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Happens, man. That shit happens all the time.
Yep. So next we're kind of going back to offense here again. We want to talk about Ebner and Evans battling for snaps tonight.
Yeah, that third spot. Go ahead.
No, I think you're going to see a lot of both of them. I'm very curious to see what we get out of Evans tonight because there's a lot there to work with. The guy's got good running back. He's got a good running back body. He runs with balance and quickness, and he's got good footwork and vision. And he kind of got a couple plays I saw last week. He kind of got gypped on a little bit that he got tackled from behind that I don't think he should have been. But I think they're going to be running the ball a lot tonight. So I think we're going to get some good looks on these guys.
They need to run the ball a lot this game, and we do need to see a lot of these two guys. But you know something in particular I'll be paying attention to, guys, get out your notepads again. About to drop another nugget for you. Seriously, get your pads out. Watch and see if they put Velus and Ebner on the field at the same time. Ooh. And watch not only notice where they have them aligned at, whether it's on the same side or opposite side or however the alignment is for the two of them. If they show up on the field at the same time, pay close attention to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something that's going to be fun to watch. If they have them on the same side, there's so much shit they're going to be able to do with them. I mean, Ebner out of the backfield, excellent hands, quickness, good route runner for a running back. The kid's going to be good, man.
As a linebacker, that'll scare the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm.
You put Velus in the slot, and you line up, let's say Ebner as a single, and then you just bring him out on some kind of wheel route or option right behind Velus. That's a problem, dude. Mm-hmm. That's a problem you don't want to have as a defender.
Mm-hmm. All right, so a couple more things you just wanted to touch on before we wrap this up.
Well,
since we're on defense still, let's talk about. You want to talk about the defense one-on-one and coverage?
Okay. Just based off the things that I know about a defensive coach. I look at this as like, tryouts, or when I was in college, even there were tryouts then, and you want to see defensive coaches. They got so many different ways they want to play a game, but they can only call a certain amount of plays. Your plays are limited based on the ability of your corners, of your cornerbacks. Mm-hmm. If you don't have good cornerback play and one-on-one coverage, your playbook is very limited. Mm-hmm. There's only a certain amount of things you're going to be able to call. A lot of it's going to be zone-based to kind of help them a little bit, give them a little help over the top and things like that. Mm-hmm. But if you got good, solid, sticky cornerback play, the playbook is wide open for you. You pretty much got a dictionary. Mm-hmm. And that provides so many more options versus not having sticky cornerbacks out there. So I would like to see how much they put the UDFAs, some of the free agents we brought in. I just want to see how much they leave them out there one-on-one and stress testing just to see how far they can take it with.
Yep. That's what you find out what you have in your players, right? Because the one-on-ones, the man coverages, those are where you really start to show yourself, right?
That's right.
If you can blanket those guys, you're going to stick around.
Wait a minute. JTK said the only thing I don't like about Ebner is 31. Why, man? What's up with that?
Rashaan Salam?
Oh, man, really?
That's my guess. He kind of looks like Rashaan Salam in his build, but he's clearly better than Rashaan Salam was. I'll say that much. He's quicker. He's better with his hands. Rashaan Salam fumbled the ball half the time. Remember there was one time he was running down the field, he broke tackles. He was gone down the sideline for a touchdown and just fucking dropped the ball. Just dropped it. Fumbled the ball. Other team recovers. I was like, what the hell? That was his rookie season, but come on, kid. I don't think we're going to see any of that kind of shit out of Ebner. I think it's either that. It is Salam, JTK. Okay, that's what it was. I was thinking maybe it was that, or he wanted to see like a single digit to make him look slimmer or something.
I'll tell you one thing. It's easy to say hold on to the ball, but it's a lot harder to train yourself to do that as a technique. It is not easy when you're focused on everything in front of you and trying to elude everything and stuff you got in your head. Next thing you know, somebody come from up under you and just pop the ball out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, it happens, man. Sean Salam was a fumbler, but yeah.
He was awesome in college, though. Cliff Victoria is saying, I still can't figure out why the Bears drafted Salam. That one was a head scratcher. I mean, he won the Heisman Trophy. He was fucking awesome in college. I wanted him to draft him. He didn't work out, but
that was a different time, man. That was a different time.
We had a couple of there was some stuff back here in chat about don't forget about the punters. Punters are people too, Nomad. Yeah, so we should do a whole segment about I don't even know what's his damn name.
Well, they'd be lucky we let them motherfuckers sit on the sideline. We call your ass out of the locker room when you need to kick.
Uh-huh. I forgot his name, man. What is his name? That's how much I'm paying attention. Trenton Gill, thank you.
The waiter.
Jeez. Yeah, Trenton Gill.
Don't he look like a waiter a little bit?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
A server in Las Vegas or something.
All right. You kind of wanted to get into. Well, we kind of already talked about EQ, didn't we? You wanted to see some plays for EQ today too.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to make sure I touched before we got out of here is I want to see Cole Kmet establish himself in this offense in different ways, whether it be in line as a blocker or it be, sliding out, however they want to use him and establish him. His presence needs to be known out there today.
Mm-hmm.
As along with Velas, and I say the same thing about Velas. They need to and EQ, those three players in particular, they need to establish their presence out there today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that's what the coaches are thinking they need to do. Those three guys in particular.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. What if we win this game again? What if we go undefeated in the preseason? What's that going to do for the fans? I mean, that's going to, both times they went to the Super Bowl, they went defeated in the preseason. Everyone was talking, they suck. They're not going to do anything this year. And then they make it to the Super Bowl. But I know the preseason means nothing, but do you think 4-0 would have the fans jacked going into the season?
I would say that if it were, let's say
3-0. Sorry, 3-0.
If it were Tampa Bay or let's say Kansas City or some other team out there, I would say it was meaningless. They're an established team. You know what you're getting from them. Mm-hmm. However, 3-0 from a team like this, with pretty much all new pieces that just turned over a roster pretty much and are establishing some kind of culture with a bunch of brand new guys, and this is their first taste of the NFL and what it's like to play the game, to take them out of the preseason with that kind of taste in their mouth. If you think it's not momentum, you're a fucking fool. Mm-hmm. That's a whole lot of momentum.
Yep.
They feeling like they can win now.
Yep. They go into the season. They build on that momentum going into the season.
That's right.
I mean, granted, we're not seeing it from the starters, but at least they know what they have in the rest of the team. That's going to give them some confidence going into the season for sure. If that were to happen.
What a better way to baptize your brand new guys you just drafted and you just brought in free agency and UDFAs. What a great way to baptize them and bring them into a new culture and say, see, guys, look, we can kick people's ass if we want to. Mm-hmm. You guys want to kick people's ass and you kick people's ass. They take that momentum and then that's a shit. I don't give a fuck how you get a win. That win, it's a win.
A win does nothing but build confidence, right?
All day.
I'll take undefeated in the preseason anytime because you're just it's better than being defeated from a team that's this young, right? There's a lot of new players on this team and there's a lot of turnover. For them to win again tonight just does nothing but add confidence for the season or for the next game, going against a tough defense. I'm sure we're probably going to see more starters, they'll probably be playing, like the the traditional third game of the season used to be, but before they removed a preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
So if we get a lot more play, if they play into the third quarter in the final game and they they can do something against that defensive front that they have, that'll help to build some confidence going into the season too. That's for sure.
Hey, Cliff just put a comment up there. Please highlight that, because I want to ask Cliff, what did those 9 preseason games that Buffalo won in a row, what did that translate to?
Right.
That's a hell of a point right there, Cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a hell of a. Just think about the young guys that haven't had any experience playing on this level.
Right.
All those new guys, all that new energy, they're jacked as it is, and they're gaining in confidence with every opportunity they get to win, and they're doing it. They're just going to turn up another notch, and it's going to perform at a higher level. They don't know anything about I'm pretty sure they've heard stories about the losing culture. They're human. They know what's happened in Chicago, but since they've gotten here, they've seen success so far. Let's see.
Mm-hmm. Like what Mickey says, didn't the 0-16 Lions go 4-0 in the preseason?
Yeah, Mickey pissing in people's Cheerios.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Detroit, man. Shit, that's bad there, man.
I have a stat for you guys. It's probably going to blow your fucking brains. As much as we might think Detroit is the gutter team in the NFC North, no. If you go back to like 1992, they've made the playoffs more than the Bears.
I'm so glad Don ain't in here, and I hope the fuck he never watched this show.
I hope so too.
Why do you even say that, man?
Well, because that's kind of shit that I do. I go crazy into those kind of stats because, at one point the Bears had made the playoffs 4 times in my adult life since I turned 18 years old. At one point before the Matt Nagy era, they had only made the playoffs like 4 fucking times. So then I started looking into that, and I look back at Detroit, and I'm like, holy shit, Detroit made the playoffs more than the Bears from like 1991 or 1992 on to present day. That's fucking sad.
Shorty, you're tone deaf, man. What do you keep going on about it for?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't mean to shit on it. I'm sorry.
Look at Cliff
just...
in there.
Great. Now we need a drink. The point is, it's time to get out of the fucking gutter, man. Let's do this. We gotta get to the playoffs, man. Playoffs. Of course. See, what about division championships? Super Bowl appearances matter? Of course they do. Yeah.
Fucking right, it does.
That's what we're hanging our hat on, Steve.
I'm so glad he's not in here, but he's gonna listen to it.
Well, that's why I said it, because I knew he wasn't.
Yeah, but overall, man, look, guys, seriously, juice. Who's coming out there with the juice? Who maintains the four quarters? Energy. See, watch, like I told you guys earlier in the week, or last week, rather. Watch and see how people are interacting with each other on the field, and especially on the sidelines. See if that energy is over there on the sidelines for these young guys out there, these free agents and those UDFAs that are going to be in their second and third string. Watch for that stuff.
Watch for the energy. Yep. Watch for the flying of the ball. Watch for the support of each other's players, picking them up. All that shit goes a long way to team building.
Big time.
All right. Well, we got 15 minutes of game time. I have to go grab something to eat. So I think we should probably wrap this up. And Nomad, you want to do a post game?
I was just about to ask you. Why don't you ask the chat?
Yeah, I think we'll do Aldo's doing his post game immediately after the show, and that's like an hour and a half long. So I think we'll go to an hour and a half after the game. We can just do a quick post game just to kind of talk about what we saw. What do you think? You
want to wait until Aldo is done, or you want to go at the same time he's on?
We'll wait till Aldo's done.
That's what I think so. Everybody come on over to here when the bar room is over. We'll be ready.
Yeah, it's Jordan and Jordan's doing the post game. Cliff says it's on the Barroom Network. The point is we don't want to overlap Barroom. We're fans. We like to be involved in their discussions as well. So
those are our brothers over there.
Yep, those are our brothers. So when Barroom is over, click on over to us. We'll get the notifications set out, and we'll do a post game after them. Got to run, guys. Tune in for the Bears Country podcast right after Barroom Network. We're going to call it an hour and a half after. Everyone enjoy the game. We'll see you soon. Bear down.
Bear down.